Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 22nd of May. Now, I've taken a little longer on my analysis this morning, just looking at what's really going on around the world, and basically the situation with the US and China is certainly not given too much in the way of confidence to the markets. We're seeing over the Asian session there, we're seeing equities sold off. We're seeing money running to the dollar, the Swissy. Euro's holding its own reasonably well, as is the pound. They're not doing too bad, but the Aussie's well down. New Zealand dollar slips there. The yen, the money's running. Oh, sorry, I should say money's running to the US dollar and everywhere else. Of course, the yen is seen it's up against everything at the moment. There's sort of almost more money running that way than anywhere else, or as much money running that way. So we're seeing this sort of run to safety. Despite everything else, and I think I'm looking at it and thinking, well, if this sort of US-China stroke Australian-China now, it seems situations can be resolved, then in which case we've got the best chance of equities, etc., rallying. We're seeing the fear factor running back into gold, not massively, but starting there again. It's still at the sort of near-term high, around those sort of near-term highs, and could push up further today. Looking at the euro then, technically, with the lack of any real, we've had retail sales out. We've got ECB monetary policy meeting minutes coming out at 12:30, and that's really about it. Core retail sales for the Canadian, for Canada at 1:30, but very little in terms of normal data coming out. And what is coming out, it's all pretty awful looking, and markets have really priced it in, so I won't worry about that. But looking then technically, as I say, the euro, well, it's currently putting in a bearish pivot swing. It hasn't closed on this buy. If it was to close down like this, it could be showing a move south leading into next week. We'll see. We've seen this sort of divergence appear in the 4 hourlies here, and the subsequent sell-off yesterday, and today it's just really, euro's just following suit at the moment. Now, it's always at this time of the morning I sit here and look and think, well, it could be doing this, and it's the morning session that often it's a shaper, but in its post 8 o'clock, it's 10 past 8 as I'm recording this. Post 8 o'clock we start seeing the changes, if there's going to be one from the Asian session, or a continuation, of course. But looking at this, and what would denote a change in price action, or maybe a break above that 68, or might show that there's hope in terms of a retracement. And looking then at retracements, we've got the usual suspects there, the 21.34.50, and of course the daily pivot above untouched. So there is the draw to the upside if it was to start moving, but at the moment it looks bearish. It's put lower highs, or a lower high in there, clear lower high in there, and is looking soft at the moment. So that's the euro. The pound, well, it's slipping off. You see the size of the daily bars relative to previous, and we really over the yesterday, the day before, Wednesday, Thursday, little tiny doji type bars. It's really struggling to move anywhere, really. It's losing some of its drive, but all the same, it's got this sort of downward trend that's sitting there. It's not quite put in a near-term lower high there. It had already put a lower high in earlier in the week there, but it is looking soft. And when I come down to this time frame, 60-minute time frame, you see the amount of chop we had yesterday afternoon running through the rest of the day there. It's really, as I say, sitting on the wall, really, sitting on the sidelines. It's not moving too much, but it is starting to sell off in this morning. Now, we could find some support around those prior lows. As you can see horizontally, it's right the way across to a couple of days ago. We were sort of sitting at that level, but a break at that level may then let us run through. There's nothing in the way of near-term support on this time frame. In fact, there's looking through these markets, the next sort of level of support will be that horizontal support around about 2089. So we could see quite a big day of it just to start to get into a bit of free fall with no technical horizontal support there. Okay, so looking weak on the pound at the moment, it looks like retracements may be sold into, but it's maybe going without us, or without me anyway. Dollar yen. Well, this is where the money's going to. I said the dollar's doing well, the yen's been doing well as well. It's a sort of a biggish bar. It's seen there in there already relative to the last couple of days. It's already moved quite a bit, and you come down the time frames, and there it is. It's confirmed that lower high through there, and it is edging down. It's still sentimentally on the sentiment from the COT analysis from the previous week there, one of the favoured currencies to be in. Lower highs confirmed through Asian session here. It does look soft at the moment. However, of course, as I keep saying, these things often change around about this time in the morning. If we are going to see something change, it's into some sort of support around where it is now, horizontal support, prior lows, some prior highs, just running into some prior highs back from here. So could be finding a bit of support, but if it does, it may be that retracements give us opportunities to sell there, but certainly looks like the risk off is working for the yen at the moment. Aussie dollar. Well, the Aussie dollar likewise is selling off here. It's been one of the favoured currencies by the big money, but it too is selling off at the moment. Bearish Harami yesterday selling off into its daily 21 so far, 34, 4-hourly 34. And it's back into its S1 there, R1. It's on the 4-hour weekly R1 there, but may find a bit of support around there. I'm just looking at some other highs around that sort of region. If we come back down a little bit more, it does look soft here though. There's usual weakness signs, lower highs, lower lows, sort of popping in there. It's already through its S2 there on the dailies. But as I say, there is a bit of support. If it can hold fire here, this may be enough to drive it up. But again, the overall picture looks like any sort of retracements may be good to sell into. So that's the Aussie. And finally, the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar, well, it had been trying to hold on there until Wednesday. Yesterday gave up and was pushing through again today. And again, high lows on this reversal, high lows coming through, and it's actually pushing up quite strongly the last 8 hours or so. Real solid movement. That's probably not helped, or it's probably helped to the upward movement by the fact that the oil price is coming off there. So all in all, looking like there could be some continuation here as well. So all these markets are pretty much aligned. Side of the yen in a sense, but it's that risk off factor now. Anything that can brighten things up today may change that, but for now that seems pretty much the theme. So retracements may be sold, or in this case bought into. So moving across to oil, as I'm on this looking at this time frame, you see that oil on the dailies here, it's finding a bit of support maybe off that daily 8. I would like to have, as I said yesterday, like to be buying oil, but not at these prices, and I'm quite happy risking to see if it comes off a bit further back down to those prior highs around that 27.85 or even 27.26, and then maybe buying it looking towards Monday, so I haven't got the over weekend risk, or Tuesday. We'll see, but at the moment it's taken a bit of a roll. And you can see how significant that is, more so on the hourlies here, lower high, real solid old sell-off through the Asian session there. Maybe there's, as I say, there's more to come, and it may offer an intraday bounce opportunity at some point. It is oversold, has been oversold. May offer an opportunity at some point there. Now, aside of that, then let's have a look at the S&P. So if I can get the S&Ps up, would be good. And you see sold off bearish Harami, same sort of. We've seen these patterns through many of the markets here. Bearish Harami is a bit like the Aussie dollar, and lot of these the correlation is so close. In terms of price action at the moment, it's so selling off, weakening here. Overall, it does, as I say, it does look soft. Support may come in the form of around that 4-hourly 50. There's some prior highs around just below that area, so if it sort of runs through, it may grab some support off that area. It is looking weak at the moment, and when it's sold off so much through the Asian sessions, like a lot of these markets, I questioned it a moment ago, we could just sort of see some bounces. However, the way these are shaping, I would be looking at selling into any decent retrace. So there you are. That's the markets this morning. Nothing really, as I say, too important coming out in terms of normal news there. We just got to rely on speakers then, of course. Have a great day, a great weekend. I will speak to you on Tuesday as it's Bank Holiday Monday. Take care.